Topic of today's session is AI and genomics, our genes, right? There's a lot of, there's all kinds of information, misinformation. There's a lot of misunderstanding about our genes and what it has to do with our health. We will talk about something that you may have heard about. It's called Central Dogma of Biology. It's not that complicated, right? We know that there's DNA and there's RNA, and somehow we'll talk about what DNA is, what RNA is, what genes are. It's actually far from straightforward. But the central dogma in biology that was established for many, many decades is that you have a DNA. A DNA is some sort of code. Get used to that. We're talking about computer science today. Yes, it's a computer science that runs within our bodies, but it's computer science nonetheless. DNA is some sort of code, right? It's not 0 or 1 like a computer code, but it really doesn't matter. It's very, very similar. So DNA produces something called RNA. RNA is also code, but it's just a different kind of code. You can think of DNA as kind of like a little bit of a general blueprint. RNA is more specific program that created from DNA, and then RNA creates protein. And pretty much protein is what our material body is made out of. That's proteins, right? All kinds of proteins that interact. So DNA, RNA, protein is called the central dogma of biology. It's been holding for years. I'm just a math geek. I don't do lab work, so I'm not pretending that I know everything here. But because I do know literature and I do understand math and computer science, I can understand what's going on in this field. And I can tell you, when you hear about central dogma of biology and DNA, RNA, and protein, you can really take it with a very big grain of salt.